December 8, 2025. Philadelphia buzzed with anticipation as the Eagles, clinging to playoff hopes, faced the Chargers under the Monday Night Football lights. Both teams were desperate. Every snap, every yard, every point carried postseason weight. The Eagles, once dominant, now struggled for consistency, while the Chargers, led by Justin Herbert, saw this as a chance to boost their playoff seeding. The stadium was a powder keg, two teams on a collision course, the entire football world watching. No one knew they were about to witness a play so bizarre it would be etched into NFL history forever. Early in the second quarter, the Eagles' offense finally clicked, marching deep into Chargers territory. Jalen Hurts led the charge, Saquon Barkley found running lanes, and the crowd sensed a touchdown was near. At the Chargers' 20-yard line, Hurts dropped back, eyes on A.J. Brown. The pass, however, floated, lacking its usual zip. A Chargers defender broke on the ball, the promise of the drive turning to dread. The stadium held its breath as the ball sailed toward a cluster of blue and white. In a heartbeat, a potential scoring drive teetered on the edge of disaster. In a moment that would stun both fans and players alike, Da'Shaun Hand, a seasoned veteran on the defensive line, read the play perfectly. As Jalen Hurts dropped back, scanning the field for an open receiver, Hand anticipated the throw, using his instincts and years of experience to position himself in the passing lane. With a sudden burst of speed, he stepped in front of Hurts's pass, his hands snatching the ball out of the air before anyone could react. The stadium, caught off guard, erupted in a mix of disbelief and excitement as Hand secured the interception. For a player who spent his career battling in the trenches, fighting off double teams and plugging running lanes, this was a rare and electrifying moment. Hand's face lit up with a combination of shock, joy, and pure adrenaline. It was his first career interception, a milestone that many defensive linemen never achieve. On the sideline, coaches and teammates leapt to their feet, their cheers echoing across the field. The opposing offense stood frozen, unable to process what had just happened. In that instant, Hand became the unlikely hero, his name suddenly on everyone's lips. Clutching the football tightly, Hand turned upfield, his massive frame barreling forward with surprising agility. Teammates quickly rallied around him, forming a protective convoy as he rumbled down the sideline. The Eagles' offensive drive, which had seemed so promising just seconds before, was now in shambles. The crowd's energy shifted in an instant, the momentum swinging wildly in favor of the defense. Every yard Hand gained sent a new wave of excitement through the stadium, as fans realized they were witnessing something truly special. As Hand powered past the 20-yard line, then the 25, the stadium seemed to hold its breath. The roar of the crowd faded into a tense silence, every eye glued to the unfolding drama. For a brief moment, time seemed to slow down, the outcome of the play hanging in the balance. Would Hand make it all the way? Or would the Eagles' speed catch up to him before he could reach the end zone? The anticipation was electric, the stakes higher with every stride. But the play was far from over. Eagles defenders, shocked but determined, closed in from all sides, desperate to prevent a defensive touchdown. The pursuit was relentless, with players diving and lunging in a last-ditch effort to bring Hand down. The sideline erupted in shouts and frantic gestures, coaches urging their players to finish the play. Every second felt like an eternity as Hand fought for every inch, refusing to go down easily. In the NFL, the action doesn't stop until the whistle blows. Amid the chaos, players scrambled for position, some trying to block, others trying to strip the ball. Referees watched closely, ready to intervene at the slightest sign of a fumble or penalty. The field was a blur of motion and noise, the outcome uncertain until the very last moment. It was the kind of play that could change the course of a game, and perhaps even a season. When the dust finally settled, Hand's moment of unexpected glory had set off a chain reaction, one that would be talked about long after the final whistle. His interception was more than just a turnover, it was a spark, igniting his team and stunning the opposition. In a league where every play counts, Da'Shaun Hand had seized his opportunity, proving that sometimes the most unforgettable moments come from the most unlikely heroes. As Hand fought for extra yards, an Eagles defender punched the ball loose. Suddenly the field was a frenzy, players diving for the live ball. Jalen Hurts, refusing to quit, pounced on the fumble, regaining possession for the Eagles. For a split second, disaster was averted. The drive was alive again, but as Hurts tried to reset, Chargers defenders swarmed him. He was hit hard, and the ball popped free once more. The Eagles' second chance vanished in an instant, plunging the play into deeper chaos. The football, loose again, bounced wildly down the sideline. Players from both teams in frantic pursuit. It skittered toward the Chargers' 33-yard line, where linebacker Troy Dye finally fell on it, ending the madness. The whistle blew, and the Chargers' sideline erupted. The Eagles, stunned, trudged off, so close to scoring, now empty-handed. Jalen Hurts, at the center of it all, was charged with both an interception and a lost fumble on the same play. It was a statistical nightmare, a play that defied belief. The sequence was over, but the conversation was just beginning. This was a moment destined for the NFL's strangest highlights. On a night when the unexpected became reality, Jalen Hurts found himself at the center of a play that would be talked about for years to come. In a matter of seconds, Hurts was officially credited with not just one, but two turnovers on a single chaotic play, first an interception, then a lost fumble. The sequence unfolded so quickly that even seasoned fans and commentators struggled to process what they had just witnessed. It was a moment that seemed to defy the very logic of football, leaving everyone in the stadium and watching at home in disbelief. In the aftermath, NFL statisticians and analysts immediately began scouring the record books, searching for any precedent. They pored over decades of data, flipping through pages and digital archives, but nothing like this had ever been recorded before. The play was so unique, so unprecedented, that it left even the most knowledgeable experts scratching their heads. It was as if the game itself had glitched, producing a statistical anomaly that would be debated and discussed for years. In over a century of NFL history, with thousands of games and countless turnovers, no player had ever managed to give the ball away twice in one continuous, uninterrupted sequence. Turnovers are a part of football's DNA, but two by the same player, on the same play? That was unheard of. The rarity of the moment only added to its mystique, instantly cementing it as one of the most unusual plays the league had ever seen. The odds of such a play occurring were, quite simply, astronomical. Statistically, it was the kind of event you might expect to see once in a lifetime, if at all. Commentators and fans alike were left to marvel at the sheer improbability, as the scoreboard reflected a moment that would soon become legendary. Through it all, Hurts's athleticism and determination were on full display. He fought to keep the play alive, scrambling, dodging defenders, and doing everything in his power to turn disaster into opportunity. His hustle was undeniable, a testament to his competitive spirit and refusal to give up, even as the play spiraled out of control. But so was his misfortune. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, the game just doesn't go your way. Hurts' disappointment was palpable as he walked off the field, knowing he had just become part of NFL history in a way no player ever hopes to experience. The play shattered expectations and broke the statistical mold, forcing analysts to create a new category of quarterback infamy. It was a moment that would be replayed and dissected endlessly, a case study in how even the most skilled athletes can fall victim to the game's unpredictable nature. It was a perfect storm of mistakes, effort, and sheer bad luck. A sequence where everything that could go wrong did. The chaos on the field was matched only by the shock in the stands, as fans tried to make sense of what they had just seen. From that moment on, Jalen Hurts' name would be forever linked to one of the NFL's most bizarre and unforgettable moments, a play that will live on in highlight reels, trivia questions, and the memories of football fans everywhere. Hurts' double turnover was the lowlight of a first half riddled with mistakes. At halftime, the Chargers led 10-6, but the real story was 6 combined turnovers, 3 by each team. Hurts' stat line was grim. 10 completions, 95 yards, 2 interceptions, and a lost fumble. Saquon Barkley was a rare bright spot, but the Eagles' offense sputtered. The Chargers' defense thrived on chaos, capitalizing on every miscue. Even a Hurts-to-Brown touchdown was erased by a penalty. The double turnover was the centerpiece of a half defined by unpredictability. Fans were left wondering what madness the second half might bring. As Troy Dye secured the fumble, the football world erupted in disbelief. Social media exploded, fans, analysts, and players alike asking, "Did that just happen?" Announcers replayed the sequence, each viewing revealing new layers of chaos. The play went viral, compared to slapstick comedy and backyard football. Even seasoned analysts admitted they'd never seen anything like it. For a moment, everyone, fans and neutrals, was united in astonishment. It was a reminder that football, for all its strategy, can still deliver pure unpredictable chaos. Hurts' double turnover wasn't just a fluke, it was a microcosm of the Eagles' 2025 season. In a single chaotic sequence, the hopes and frustrations of an entire fan base seemed to play out in real time. The play began with a glimmer of hope, as Hurts, under pressure, tried to make something out of nothing. But as the ball slipped from his grasp and disaster struck, it was as if the ghosts of the season's past mistakes had returned to haunt the team once again. The team's year was defined by inconsistency, mistakes, and missed opportunities. Every time the Eagles seemed to find their rhythm, a costly error or mental lapse would set them back. It wasn't just about one bad play. It was about a pattern that repeated itself week after week. The offense would flash moments of brilliance only to be undone by turnovers or penalties. The defense, at times dominant, would suddenly give up a big play at the worst possible moment. It was a season where nothing ever seemed to come easy. Hurts' hustle to recover his own interception showed heart, but his immediate fumble symbolized a team pressing too hard. It was a moment that captured the Eagles' relentless effort, but also their desperation. Hurts, refusing to give up on the play, dove into the fray, only to see the ball slip away again. It was a split second that summed up the season. Effort and energy, but ultimately, heartbreak. The play became an emblem of a season filled with almosts and what-ifs. Every player on the field wore the weight of missed chances and near misses. The sideline, once filled with hope, now reflected the exhaustion of a team that had fought hard but fallen short too many times. Coaches and players alike could only shake their heads, knowing that one play rarely tells the whole story. But this one came close. For fans, it confirmed a troubling pattern. Flashes of brilliance undone by self-inflicted wounds. The stands were filled with a mix of disbelief and resignation, as supporters watched their team snatch defeat from the jaws of victory yet again. The emotional roller coaster of the season had taken its toll, leaving fans to wonder what might have been if just a few plays had gone differently. Years from now, this play will be replayed as a defining moment of a frustrating season. It will be analyzed by commentators, dissected by analysts, and remembered by fans as the turning point that encapsulated all the highs and lows. The image of Hurts scrambling, the ball bouncing free, and the collective gasp of the crowd will linger in the memories of everyone who witnessed it. For the Eagles, it was a painful lesson. For football fans, a testament to the sport's beautiful unpredictability. The game of football is often decided by inches and seconds, by the bounce of a ball or the slip of a hand. In that sense, the Eagles' season was a reminder that no matter how much talent or preparation a team has, fate can still intervene in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes, the ball just bounces in ways that defy all logic, creating history in the process. And while the pain of this season will linger, so too will the hope that next year, the breaks might finally go the Eagles' way.